There's a big difference between the physical task of doing something like folding the laundry and the mental load associated with the laundry. And whenever I talk about the mental load, I inevitably get comments from people saying it's not real. And I love that comment because it allows me to give examples, real life examples of what the mental load is. And so here's an example from my day yesterday. I get an email from the school. It says, please bring in snow gear for the kids. They're going to start playing in the snow. Great, not a big deal. I mentioned this on the phone to my husband and he says, cool, I'll help you with that later today. Great, amazing, thanks. Later that day when I come home from picking up the kids, he has packed all the snow gear. Amazing, that is great. My husband and I work really hard to have an equal partnership. So I love that he did that on his own. He packed everything, he had everybody's stuff in its own bag. Fantastic. As we're eating dinner, I say to my husband, hey, did you make sure to label everything on the snow gear? And he said, no, I didn't realize I had to do that. And I said, yeah, we have to label every single thing, every glove, every boot, all of it. They want everything to have the kids' names on it. And mind you, we have little labels that we put on everything. And I said, okay, we're gonna have to unpack all of this and relabel everything. Not a big deal. So later that night, we're unpacking everything so we can label it. As we're labeling things, he forgets we have these little labels. So he starts writing with a permanent marker. And I'm like, no, just use the labels. It's easier. It doesn't come off. It doesn't get washed away. Like, use the labels. Okay, so we label everything. But as we take everything out of the bags, I realize that these small canvas bags they're in are really tightly packed. He has very strategically packed them, which like in theory is great, but in reality isn't going to work because the schools have asked us to send things in a bag that the kids can easily pack and unpack themselves. And that is not going to happen with these small canvas bags. And so I say to my husband, hey, we actually have to get different bags for these because the kids are never going to be able to repack these bags and the teachers cannot help them. And mind you, I'm not upset he doesn't know these things because he's never done this task before. Typically, it's something I do. But this is the mental load associated with the task. Oftentimes when people say they don't think the mental load is real, it's because they don't understand that behind every task, there is thought and planning that goes into it. There's all this information we know and remember that allows us to do the task well. And that is the biggest difference between physically doing a task like the laundry or packing the snow gear and the mental load associated with that task. Now, I want to be clear. I think it's amazing when people take initiative, when they fold the laundry, cook the dinner, pack the snow gear, amazing. But when you're missing all of the critical pieces to that task, it just results in somebody else having to do more work later. And so that is the mental load. That is what we were talking about. It's the knowing, the doing, the remembering of all of the things that go in to a specific task.